What's good, sports gamers? And today I'll be diving into some tips, tricks, and tactics for beginners you should know or didn't know to help you get off on the right foot in college football 26. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online, and alright, let's get it. When you're about to get tackled, if you hold the right stick up, your player will attempt to reach for extra yardage. So this is huge for getting a first down when you otherwise will fall short, and more importantly, converting more touchdowns. To change your receiver's route mid-play in college football 26, you're going to want to hold the left trigger while standing still or on the move, and then aim the right stick in the direction you want your nearest receiver to move. Once you're out of the pocket, this is another situation where you're able to generate huge plays, so don't let these situations pass you by. If you're trying to run down a deep pass and it looks like the ball is going to miss you by a yard or so, holding Y or triangle to attempt an aggressive catch is your only shot here in snatching it out of the air. Introduced last year in Madden, which has now been brought over to college football, and that's being able to go up for one-handed catches by simply holding L1 or LB on your controller and then hitting your preferred catch. So yes, there are one-handed aggressive catches, one-handed runs after the catch, and one-handed catches where they will immediately hit the ground. It's pretty cool. With any passing type that you use, you're going to want to get familiar with pass leading, which lets you aim the receiver in any direction relative to where they're moving. So when you're about to throw to a receiver running into a defender, pass leading helps the receiver out by adjusting to wherever you aim it to get him out of trouble and of course to keep away from defenders. Certain situations demand you to sling the ball over the defender's head, and that is where the high pass comes in handy. By holding L1 or LB on your controller, you're able to elevate the ball above underneath defenders' heads to complete more passes, mainly across the middle of the field. And to pull it down, you're going to want to hold triangle or Y on your controller to trigger, again, the aggressive catch animation, which I previously went over, to go and get it at its highest point. Post routes and digs thrive with a well-placed high pass across the middle. In college football 26, you're given 3 types of catches you're able to make to complete a pass. Holding Y or triangle makes you go for an aggressive catch that is able to help you out and go up and get passes over defenders. Holding X or square lets you catch the pass on the run to maximize yards after the catch if there is space in front of you. And if you're working with tight spaces, holding X or A on your controller forces your receiver to perform a possession catch, where he will immediately hit the ground after catching it to remove the chance of you getting hit and losing the ball. So in short order, anything deep, you will either use the aggressive catch or run after the catch button. And anything short, you will again use the run after the catch or now the possession catch to get down the field. Every time you pick a play, make sure you utilize the field the best you can by having your receivers lined up or attacking the wide side of the field to maximize spacing. Don't box yourself in when you don't have to. I know you may be used to always having your receivers on the right or always running a formation set up with one guy on the left and the others on the right. But after one completion, you're cornering yourself and making it easier for you, the defenders, to cover multiple receivers because they're so squished. In college, we're working with wide hash marks, so make your opponent defend space. After a play, if you hold square or X if you're on Xbox, you will perform a turbo no huddle that lets you snap it quicker and catch defenders off guard, but with a way more limiting playbook to use, with you only being able to call your previous play or 2 other quick plays, but no other plays in your playbook, unless you let your players look to the sidelines here, even though you selected turbo. And of course, if you hold Y or triangle, you will perform a normal no huddle with more access to your playbook. Within 2 minutes at the end of the second quarter or fourth, don't call a timeout after you just got a first down, because the clock will stop until the ball is ready to be snapped again. And if you're doing a turbo no huddle, you're able to mitigate the clock moving much smaller here as well. On 1st and 10 in your passing, one of the most important things you want to do is keep the chains moving. And one way to do that is by having routes that can get the ball out of your hands quick, like slants, drags, in routes. So you're not immediately in a 2nd and 21 because you sent everybody deep and you got sacked and now you're wondering what just happened. To become your best self in the open field, you have to stay one step ahead of the defenders and constantly be ready to break out a move, and on top of that, your next move. The moment you pull off a juke or a spin, be ready to do it again. Quick decision making separates good runners who can juke the first guy from the great ones who on top of that can spin off the next dude ready to hit stick you. When tackling opponents that are within range, instead of relying on the right stick flicking it up or down like it's Madden 05, you're better off just holding the X or A button to attempt a conservative tackle and wrap them up. The game simply doesn't give you enough fumbles, and you allow a lot more broken tackles or straight up misses trying to go for hit sticks like crazy, unless the game lines them up for you. So do yourself a favor and go for a wrap-up tackle and keep them in a manageable down. When your opponent is rolling out, clicking in the right stick allows your nearest defender to crash on the quarterback instead of letting them run right past them. I love this feature. In obvious passing downs, holding R1 or RB on your controller and then flicking the right stick up as you commit to the pass to receive a boost to your pass defense for guessing right. Moving your right stick up and down in your formation helps you disguise your coverage shell. So basically how your secondary is lined up. So you can confuse your opponent by showing one look, but you're actually in another coverage that lines up perfectly as a counter to what they believe you're in. Defending deep balls, if the receiver unfortunately has a step on you, instead of going for the swat, just run down the receiver. You may get lucky and they have to jump for the ball and you can tackle them then and maybe knock it out. But swatting won't help you. It just slows you down unless they severely underthrow the ball. Just run straight into the receiver here and hope he must jump. On defense, always let the offense pick their play first and match up your personnel accordingly. If they come out in a 3 wide out set, you want to at least be in a nickel formation to match speed. Or 2 wide out set, you want your stronger players on the field so you don't get run all over in a base nickel formation. And if you're struggling with timing, go into your control options. You can switch between a double tap system, which you press once for accuracy and then lock in the power again, or hold and release for the accuracy and power. Find what works for your reflexes and stick with it. When attempting to go for a field goal and the camera angle is a little wonky, click the D-pad down about 1 click from the normal camera to get the wide angle, or all the way up to access the zoom one. You just want a camera where the meter is below the goalpost so you can better line up your target here. You just want to make sure the arrow point closest to the goalpost is lined up with the outside post, so if you draw a straight line down, it will touch it to make sure a well-placed kick lands inside of it. And if you're kicking from the right, a smidge more inside. On onside kicks, fair catch it to avoid getting hit. When you just had a bad previous play on offense or your opponent had 2, 3 guys open on one play, at the play call screen, flick the right stick to the right to see what play it is that they just ran, to help you visualize it and better understand what was happening on that snap. When the clock is running down after a play, call a timeout at 3 seconds to ensure that will be the end of the half or game. And lastly, this can help you save time and prevent those frustrating delay of game penalties because you couldn't find your playing time. And that's setting up your favorite plays, as you're able to mark them, or better yet, the plays you will use the most by double tapping the play calls icon until you see the star indicator. And this will put all your go-to plays in one menu for easy accessibility. Sorry, sports gamers, I hope this video was able to help you out. And if you like the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online for more College Football 26 content. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. All right, people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good, y'all.